Have you ever jumped into a coalition or a campaign partnership that looked promising, only to find yourself 6 weeks in questioning every single meeting and wondering how the hell you got there? Yeah, me too. Today, we're talking about how to vet your partners before you organize together. Because here's the truth, the strength of your movement isn't just about your passion, it's about your people. And who you choose to align with can either build momentum or quietly, or not so quietly, sabotage every single thing you're working for. Today, I'm walking you through 5 clear strategic steps to assess values alignment, spot red flags early, and know when and how to walk away from a collaboration that's no longer serving the work. And if you're navigating coalition work or scaling your leadership in this era of deep polarization and collective burnout, make sure you subscribe and tap that bell. Every week, I drop videos just like this one to help seasoned movement leaders organize with more clarity, strategy, and sustainability. So I've been an activist since I was 15 years old. And in the last 15 plus years, I've been supporting community organizers, political coalitions, movement networks, and nonprofit leaders on the front lines of change. And I can tell you from experience, coalitions don't break because people don't care. They break because we've never mapped out how we're building power, how we're building accountability, and the values alignment that we need before we get into the work. So let's break this down step by step. Step 1, you have to start with shared purpose, not just shared outrage. Coalitions that last start with clarity. Not just clarity on what you're against, but what you're for. This means you have to ask some serious questions before you partner with another person or an organization. First, what's the desired outcome of the work that you're going to do together? Second, who benefits from this work? Third, what timeline are we operating on? Fourth, are we building for a win or building for the long game? The key to knowing who to partner with and when is understanding what's motivating the people who you may be partnering with. Are they really in this for community liberation? Or are they in it for visibility? Are they in it for electoral decision making? Or for personal brands? Because too many partnerships get built in moments of shared adrenaline. You're all pissed off about the same policy or moved by the same harm. And in that urgency, we forget to pause and ask, do we actually share a long-term vision for how real change will happen? Let's pause for a minute here. Drop me a comment. What's one question you wish you'd asked before joining a coalition or a campaign or choosing to partner with another organizer? How have you learned from the mistakes that honestly I hope you haven't made in the past? Let us know so we can all share the learning. Step 2, people are messy. And you know what? You need to vet them anyway. Look, we're all human. We all bring our traumas, our egos, our brilliance, and our blind spots into the work. But if you ignore messiness up front, it will show up later in meetings, in messaging, and in how decisions get made. And this is where vetting comes in. And yes, I mean actual vetting, not just vibes. Here are some of the things that I look for. I look at past behavior. Who have they partnered with before, and how did that end? I look at feedback culture. Can they handle accountability without spiraling or retaliating? Can they communicate effectively when problems arise? Also, I look to community reputation. What do folks say about them behind closed doors? Who claims them as an ally, a friend, or a comrade? By asking these questions, you're not being cynical. You're actually being very strategic. Because shared values are nice, but shared practices are what sustain movements. And you can't establish shared ground if you don't know where someone is coming from. Step 3, and this one's a little bit of a rough one. Watch for narcissism. Yes, even in movement spaces. This part's not fun to talk about, but it's crucial. There are people in movement work who are here for the performance of justice, not the practice of it. And narcissistic patterns can show up cloaked in charisma, credentials, and even social justice lingo. I've learned this one the hard way, and I want to make sure that you don't make the same mistakes I did. So here's some things to watch for. Is the person that you're considering partnering with in need of constant validation? Do they shift blame when things go wrong? Do they take credit individually for collective wins? Do they bulldoze decision-making to maintain control? Narcissistic partners can blow up entire coalitions because for them, it's not about building power. It's about staying in the spotlight. And I'm going to give you just a little bit of a personal example here so you understand what I'm talking about. A number of years ago, I was asked to partner with someone who got famous on social media for confronting people who had done harm. And unfortunately, because the reputation of this person preceded them, myself and several other organizing partners decided to work with this person, even though there were some kind of not so subtle signs that this person really just wanted to hog the camera. This person dropped the ball on everything, from getting the right permits, to organizing speakers, to making sure the sound system at our event was going to work. But when the cameras showed up, this person leapt in front of them, took credit for everyone who had been there and everything that had happened, not even the critically important cause that we were working toward could defer this person's need for the spotlight. And in the end, it caused an enormous amount of harm to what could have been an incredible result. So yes, you need to interview people before deciding whether to partner with them on social justice issues. Ask questions. Watch how they treat your staff. Watch how they treat service people. Watch how they handle conflict and whether they speak with a we or just an I. And if your gut is pinging you, I want to urge you to listen to it. We do not need more harm in the name of liberation. Step 4, check for structural alignment, not just values vibes. Okay, so this is where a lot of progressive coalitions fall apart. We like each other, we agree on the issue, but the operational structures from organization to organization or group to group, total mismatch. So here are some questions to ask. How do these folks make decisions? Does it mirror the way you make decisions in your group or organization, or is it completely haphazard and different? Who holds power in the other organization, and how is it shared? If you've been following us here on this channel for a while, you know we're big fans of shared models of leadership. If it's a dictatorship in the organization that you're thinking about partnering with, that's a really big red flag. Are they engaging in strategic safety practices? Are they making sure that marginalized people are protected, that legal advisors are present for direct action, and that people who are in jeopardy are being given space of safety? Lastly, you really do need to figure out how folks handle conflict and repair. That is clearly a theme of today's video, because alignment isn't about perfection. It's about transparency. And if someone can't or won't articulate their internal structure or handle conflict in nonviolent ways that are designed for peaceful and safe resolution, you should run. Because the unwillingness to receive feedback, work to resolve conflict, or move in a direction of safety tells you more than any value statement ever could. And here's the thing to remember. You're not just partnering with a person when you partner with another organization or group. You're partnering with their whole system. And it's really important to know what you're getting into. Okay, step 5. If it's not working, exit with integrity. Now this one's tough because ending a partnership can feel like a failure, especially if you've poured time, labor, and emotion into the collaboration. But here's the truth. Staying in a misaligned movement partnership drains more energy than walking away ever will. And it stands the chance of destroying your entire movement if you stay in partnerships with people who aren't in it for the right reasons. Here's how to end a movement-based partnership that isn't working. First of all, you want to be clear. Don't ghost the person or avoid them. Think strategically and communicate effectively about the fact that the partnership is over. You also want to be honest. I don't think this association between our orgs is the right fit for our goals moving forward. Very simple, very straightforward, very honest. Be boundaried. What do I mean by that? Well, you don't owe an extended debrief to someone if the other side isn't receptive, and you definitely don't owe it to them if they're abusive or bashing your shared efforts with others. You also want to be strategic. What's next for your group or mobilization, and how will you communicate it to the broader public if needed? This isn't petty. It's actually about movement stewardship. Because your leadership doesn't just belong to you, it belongs to your community. And they're counting on you to lead with integrity and discernment in addition to hope. So a few final words here. As we've discussed in prior videos, the thing to remember is that movements are built at the speed of trust. And trust doesn't come from shared hashtags or panels or emails. It comes from discernment, from vetting, from being willing to slow down before you say yes, so that when you do, it actually means something and everyone can see that you are walking with integrity. Let's not forget that coalition work is sacred. But just because it's sacred doesn't mean it's soft. It means that it has to be carefully thought out in deep integrity, with intention, with relational boundaries, and it has to be rooted. And if you're ready to build the kind of leadership infrastructure that allows you to scale trust without burning out, well, I want to invite you to take the next step. Apply for a free strategy call on the Ripple Effect Institute if you're ready to lead coalitions with clarity, not chaos. The Ripple Effect Institute is our signature leadership accelerator for organizers, nonprofit directors, and justice-driven changemakers who want to scale impact with strategy and sustainability at the center. You've already led, you've already built. Now let's make it last in a community of incredible people who've got your back. Head to the link in the description to apply for that free course consultation. We'll walk you through what's inside, how it can support your next chapter, and we'll figure out whether or not it's the right fit for you. And if this video gave you the clarity you needed, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and share it with your organizing team or others in your coalition. And don't forget to check out our video on the secret sauce of organizing, because that'll give you just a little bit more juice to keep going. We're in this together. Let's lead like it. I'll see you next time.